This morning, I went on a hike with my friend. That's why I look a little rough. We hiked 7 miles, same as when we were in Providence Canyon, and she was wearing this shirt. I looked at her and I was like, friend, I still didn't make that vlog. So here I am. I'm putting it together. It's mostly inspired by the vlogs I see my dad publish. He does have a better setup than I do, so please forgive the way I'm holding the mic. This is basically a play-by-play of my recent trip to Columbus. That's Columbus, Georgia, not Columbus, Ohio. Common mistake. I assume that if you're watching this, you're familiar with me, and you're familiar that there will be many tangents. So hop in. My friend Summer and I like to go hiking. Hence the fact that we went hiking for 7 miles today. The only thing is, we don't really have hills and mountains where we live. We live in Florida. And we went on a trip to Zion National Park with my parents in February of this year, and it was awesome. It was so totally sick. And we realized that although we love to walk, and walking around Florida is no problem, we really want like the change in scenery. So because it's fall, we really wanted to see the different colored trees. And we also wanted to like test out our leg muscles by actually going up and down hills. Since we're always talking about how much fun Zion is, she basically just sat me down one day and was like, hey, I'm gonna go to Columbus, Georgia, and if you wanna go, feel free. If you don't wanna go, that's fine. And I was like, no friend is going hiking without me. Also, I also wanted to see it. So she basically planned the whole trip and she drove us. It was not an incredibly long drive, so it was only for the weekend. But I still really appreciate it. That was super nice of her. And she did a great job organizing everything. For that weekend, we were going to Georgia. The next weekend, I was going to go to New York and she was going to return to Georgia to visit Atlanta. So we already knew the next weekend was going to be rough. We wanted to play it chill. We only did a few things in Columbus, but those things were really fun and they were basically exactly what we love to do. On Friday, when we first arrived, we got a pizza first, of course. We were really hungry, but we had to book it because once we signed into our hotel, we pretty much were immediately going to go to a ghost tour. And I just want to go on a tangent. Everybody we spoke to our entire trip was so nice. The front desk lady at this hotel, so nice. A giga chad. She remembered us every time we came in and out. Every time we'd go out to eat and I would ask what to get, the waiters were always super helpful. So shout out to Southern hospitality. Those Georgia guys get it. That was really, really sweet. Thank you to everybody I talked to. The first thing we did was visit the Springer Opera House. A fun fact about the Springer Opera House is it is actually still running. They still put on shows. So when we arrived, we were the only people there. So nobody else showed up for the 10:30 p.m. ghost tour, probably because it was 10:30 p.m. But it was really nice. Our tour guide was super informative. You could tell she really loved her job. And when we arrived, she was like, great timing. Everybody just wrapped up their practice for an upcoming play. They're probably going to go retreat to their rooms. Let's start the ghost tour. And Summer and I were like, yay, ghost tour. So they gave us these little flashlights and basically walked us through the building. It wasn't scary, in my opinion. It just felt like any old house that I traverse when I can't see. But I liked the energy that our tour guide was giving us. And of course, I liked doing it with my friend, and it was fun to be in a new town. So if you have the chance, definitely check out the Springer Opera House in Columbus, Georgia. I was saying that my grandma would really love the Opera House because it's right up her alley, right? It's got ghosts. It's got opera. It's got a house. All right, yeah, I don't. But I told her about it later. She did sound very interested. So I just wanted to say I was right. But in addition, I wanted to say that I convinced my dad that I was intoxicated because after we left, poor Summer was actually kind of spooked by the house. And like I said, I wasn't really, so I was just giving her a hard time. Do you think I should invite the spirit of a young girl who's haunting the opera house into my body so she can try the pizza? Because I don't think they would have had it back in her day. And she was like, no, Maddie, you cannot invite spirits to possess your body. That's exactly what you're not supposed to do. And I was like, you can't tell me what to do. If I invite the spirit in and I need an exorcism, will you still hang out with me? And she's like, I don't want to go to your exorcism. And so I texted my dad. I was like, Papa, I'm in Georgia right now. I don't think he knew I was in Georgia, but I'm in Georgia right now. If I called you over here for an exorcism in Georgia, would you go? And he's like, daughter, what are you up to this evening? And I was like, okay, I'm not intoxicated. It was really out of context. But anyway, so it was fun to antagonize my friend. It was fun to antagonize my dad. And also, I just really liked the ghost tour. Shout out to our tour guide again for her awesome energy. As per my shirt, we visited my hair's covering it. We went to Providence Canyon State Park the next day. We woke up about our average time, probably like 7 a.m. And we're like, oh, we're in no big rush. Let's just grab some food real fast, head over, do some hiking, and then, afterwards get something else to eat because we had a big day ahead of us. And Summer is very diligent. She did a lot of research. Her research told her that we needed food, water, and emergency lights just in case we got lost or something. And to us, we were thinking 7 miles doesn't sound that long, but, fair enough because no one ever expects to get lost in the woods. So we were like, okay, sounds good. And by that, I mean, Summer brought everything we needed. She had a big, heavy backpack on the whole hike. Meanwhile, I just had the bare minimum. I had my own water bottle. I think I had like a small bag with my phone and maybe a snack in it. Just really, I was not bringing the same energy to the table. And that hike was harder than I gave it credit for. We were hiking the backcountry trail. Good thing I took these notes. So it's kind of a man-made park, but I just thought that it looked really pretty. And honestly, when you're hiking around it, it does seem like nature really took it over. And I really enjoyed the atmosphere. It had a good difference in terrain. And like I said, we were looking for those different colored leaves. We walked maybe 4 miles on our average walks after work. So 7 miles just seemed a little longer. You need to bring food, water, in case you get lost or something. But really, the physical exertion of 7 miles, even with the hills, we didn't think would be that bad. So we had a lot of confidence going into it. And honestly, the trail started so lovely. It was very flat, mostly downhill. That's a red flag, right? Mostly downhill at first, walking through some puddles, looking at the trees. So there were pretty bridges, and boom, hills. Who could have told me there would be hills on this Georgia trail in which they specifically warned us there would be hills? So it was definitely a little taxing. And my poor friend Summer, with her backpack full of emergency supplies, was bearing the brunt of it. And there I was sprinting up the hill being like, let's go, Queen, let's go. Turn around and she's carrying all of our gear. But we made it through. Honestly, we just took it at our own pace. We knew it would probably take us maybe a little more than 2 hours, 3 at max. And I think we were pretty on track for that. We also have our stats for exactly how far we walked, how many calories we burned. I don't know how accurate that would be. And, you know, the elevation changes we went through. So I'll try to put those on the screen. Summer sent them. Shout out to Summer's Apple Watch. But as we concluded the trail, there is a point in which it kind of reconvenes with a different trail. And when we hit that point, it was a little awkward because we couldn't tell where we were supposed to go. We were following all the signs for the red trail, and now we're seeing all these white signs, and we don't want to get lost, and we're also tired. So we were like, maybe our judgment's a little off. Maybe we took a wrong turn. So we saw some people coming the opposite way, and we were like, hey, do you mind pointing us in the direction of the red trail? And they were like, of course. And they pointed right behind us, and they were like, it's right behind you. And we're like, no, we just came from that way. And by this point, we had probably hiked like 6-ish miles. So we were like right at the end. And they're like, you just hiked the red trail? Congratulations. And we're like, oh, thank you. But we are still in the woods. How do we get out? So they were super awesome. Big shout out to the people who helped us. They basically explained that the red trail and the white trail connect at that point. And we went on a couple detours to visit I forgot. Let me check my notes. I guess it's just called the canyons. Maddie, fact check me again. Oh, poor editing Maddie. She's gonna have to do all the work. But I think that they're called the canyons. So when you finish your actual trail, you can go see these steep edges of clay. And we did, but we were so tired. We were so tired. And by now, the day had started to pick up because it was probably late morning, early afternoon by this point. And the crowds were coming in, the kids were coming in. And we just wanted to rest and eat our snacks. So we called it there. If you're more into like a cool meandering path and you'd rather look at these stiff cliff faces and things like that, I really do think it's very pretty there. I think that the 7-mile walk kind of wore us out. And we also took a wrong turn. So we didn't actually hike these 7 miles. We clipped off a little bit by mistake. We took an accidental shortcut. But we were still on the trail, don't worry. But we didn't do that entire distance. We kind of just made up for it by meandering around the rest of the park after. If the miles matter to you. They mattered to me because I was telling people I was going to hike 7 miles. I also want to go on a little tangent. While we were eating our snacks outside the building, because there was this nice picnic table, and we just picked up some stuff from Aldi before we left town, and I went to go use the bathroom. When I go over, I realize it's crowded because there's only one stall. And some women come in after me while I'm already in line, and they're asking me like, oh, how long do you think it's going to be? I was like, oh, I don't know. It's moving pretty fast, but there's only one stall. And you could tell these ladies were friends. And they behind me, they're all, giggling amongst each other. And they were saying things like, well, the men's bathroom's right there. Go check it out. And they were like pointing to their friend. They were like, you go look. See if anybody's in there. If no one's in there, we can go in there instead. And she's like, why do I have to go? And they're like, because you look like a man. Just whatever friends say about each other. So she goes, she peeks in. She's like, there's no one in there, but I don't want to use it. And then a guy, I guess, had overheard them saying this. He went in, and when he came out, he's like, you guys can use it. It's okay. No one's in there. I don't think anyone would mind. So it's just, everybody was getting along really well, and I thought that was super sweet. I thought it was a very nice location. Again, I really liked my walk, and I also really enjoyed what do you call it? I really liked the gift shop. Because, again, I got this matching shirt with my friend. Oh, my goodness, my hair's all over it. So how could I hate on it? They also had, like, cute fridge magnets, the usual stuff you'd find in a state park. I actually also got a beanie for my roommate. Big shout out, yay, because she was watching Himalaya the whole time. Himalaya is my cat, in case you aren't familiar. I'll see if I can find some footage of him to add. But I thought it was a really nice location. We just wore ourselves out big time. These Floridians, meaning me and my friend, not ready for hills. Oh my goodness, I need to get a gym membership and go on a stair climber. But it was beautiful. Since we wore ourselves out so bad, but it was still only like the early afternoon, we went back to our hotel room and just rested for a few hours. I think Summer took a nap. I was supposed to take a nap, but I read fan fiction. So great work, Maddie. That did not help my exhaustion. As we started getting ready to go out for dinner, we were going to go to some place called the Loft. I think that this was recommended to us by our friend Des, but I think it was also recommended to us by somebody else in town when we were asking for places to go. And it was kind of down this nice street. So there would be things for us to look at. We can go on a little walk and kind of see more of Columbus. And more importantly, they had all these cool mixed drinks. So I was very excited to go. And we kind of got the vibe that you should dress up a little bit, especially because we're also visiting from out of town. So I think we felt added pressure to dress up because we are tourists. When I was trying to get dressed, there was a tag on my shoe that I could not get off, and I was yanking at it. I almost like cut my hands open trying to pull this tag off my shoe. I had to use Summer's car keys and saw it off. So I hope they liked my shoes. I hope they thought I looked cute because I worked so hard. Oh, I also started in one outfit. I started in one shirt and I changed it to a different one because it was just so offensively wrinkly. Like I said, we're tourists and we want to look our best. So I just put on a different shirt, not as wrinkly. My portion was like really big. We were not expecting an appetizer to be that big. It was very good. We went over what we did on Friday when we arrived, and we went over what we did on Saturday when we went on our hike. Sunday was basically our last day / the day we're leaving. So we still wanted to do something in town, but we had to focus on getting out at a reasonable time. So I tried to finish up eating some fish tacos first thing in the morning for breakfast. That is what I don't think any human body is prepared for an action like that. I got like halfway through a taco and I was like, no. And we didn't have a way to preserve it on the way home, so I still feel kind of bad about that. To the Loft, I'm sorry I wasted one of your tacos. I really wanted to eat it. I just couldn't safely store it on the way back. It is a good thing that I dressed in a slightly cuter outfit. I tried to think more safety when we were going on our hike on the previous day, so I tried to wear like longer sleeves, longer pants, more durable shoes. For this, I kind of just wore average exercise equipment. I'm trying to think of what exactly I wore. I know that I was in a athletic tank top and I think leggings on the bottom. I'll show you guys some pictures. But I do remember thinking, wow, it's a good thing I dressed at least a little bit better because we took like all of our pictures on this day. I'm glad I dressed in cuter clothes because there was a couple things to my advantage. One, really good scenery on this day. Well, actually 3 things. Really good scenery. Summer was there to take pictures and she's really good at it. And 4, we were not exhausted. We were certainly sore from the previous day, but I mean, it had only been 24 hours. So I think that the real exhaustion hadn't hit us yet. First place we started was Flat Rock Park, which was a lot more laid back than we thought it would be. It looks like it's kind of a frisbee golf kind of area, and it really is just a bunch of flat rocks, which as Floridians, I found really amusing. I was like, well, we don't have these back at home. That's crazy. That thing just lives in the earth. And the park itself was really chill. Again, we were out pretty early in the morning. We both wake up around like 7-ish, so maybe it's a little busier during the day, but we just went around, took pictures, went on a little wander, drove through the park, and we got to see, you know, slightly different terrain, different plants, different trees. And so that was really lovely. Oh, while we were at Flat Rock Park, a couple things. One, we were walking all over the rocks. It felt wrong to do. It felt like you're not supposed to be on them, but we saw other people on them and no one told us to stop. So that was cool. We also saw a baby water snake, which was kind of scary because I don't really know what they're like in Georgia, but in Florida, they're pretty dangerous. We got a video of it because it was very cute. For our breakfast that day, we went to Cinnaholic, which I had never heard of before. I wouldn't say I'm much of a pastry connoisseur. I'm more of a savory girl, but my friends love sweets. So when they heard that we were going to Columbus, they were like, oh my gosh, there's a location of Cinnaholic there, which stands for, I guess, Cinnabun-holic, like person who loves cinnamon buns or cinnamon rolls. I don't know what they're called. The whole idea is that you can customize what you put on them. So you can customize the flavor, you can customize the icing, the toppings, and it was really good. I got some kind of peanut butter, banana flavor, and it was super good. And also, again, the lady who helped us at the front desk was so nice because I was really indecisive. What kind of cinnamon pastry do you want to eat? I don't know, I just ate a fish taco, but she was an absolute giga Chad. Thank you so much for talking me through that decision. I just appreciated her help, and she made our food super fast, super clean bathroom. Would recommend Columbus. You're killing the game. We really liked it, but more importantly, I got to do one of my favorite activities, harassing my friends. We had a few friends tell us that we should go here. Both of them were disappointed that they couldn't go with us and get their own. So of course, we sent them many pictures. One of them was a picture of me, like taking a scoop of it and being like, this is for you. Oh. Just kidding. And then I showed Summer that I took that, and she's like, Maddie, that was so mean. And I was like, ha ha ha, yeah. So unfortunately, I couldn't finish the cinnamon bun either, but that I was actually able to take on the drive home. That kept all right in the cooler. Again, rip to the tacos. Those were not going to stay okay. And when I got home, I was actually able to give some of it to my other friends, and they thought it was super good. So Cinnaholic, thumbs up. That was really nice. After we went to Cinnaholic, our last stop was the Riverwalk, the Columbus Riverwalk. Summer and I love to walk. If we had this in our hometown, I think we would do it like every week, honestly. It was just really pretty. It was really well decorated. There were a bunch of statues, especially when you get closer to downtown. The beautiful big trees and parks with historical facts on them, and I love reading signs when I walk. And you could see a bunch of people in the river just like fishing. So I thought that that was really idyllic. It probably would be busier if it was later in the day or a more populated time of year, but at least when we were there, it was really chill, and I got a lot more pictures, which was super fun. And I thought that was a perfect way to end it. People watch a little bit. We got to go on a walk and digest our amazing cinnamon snacks. I really liked our trip to Columbus. I thought Summer did a great job planning it. Along with her great planning was the dichotomy of my extremely poor planning. I packed all my clothes the night before we left and did not pack any underwear. I debated putting this in the vlog or not, but then I realized I went ahead and told all my friends and family anyway, and they all laughed at me, so I thought that it would be funny to include. I had to wash my underwear in the shower. I will never forget again. For the next trip, which will be the next vlog I make, my trip to New York, I was so paranoid about forgetting my underwear again that I made my roommate watch me pack. The trip was great. Everything we did went really well. That was all on me. That was completely my fault. So, lesson learned. About our drive back, again, shout out to Summer for driving. This didn't affect me too much because I was in the passenger seat. And we kept wondering why, despite how much we drove, our arrival time just kept getting pushed back. The only way I could cut down on our time was to direct us to a different town and then like right angle it to where we needed to go instead of taking the straight path. We got there in the end. The only problem is we were starting to lose our minds. We were just blaming each other for everything, not in a bad way, but in that silly jokey way that you do when you just need to go to sleep. I think hiking the 7 miles, then probably walking a few more on the next day and washing my underwear in the shower, I think it did wear me out quite a bit, which, crazy to say, the next weekend I went on another trip. I would like to give several big shout outs for the success of this trip. The first one obviously goes to Summer. Thank you so much, Summer, for planning everything and providing a lot of really good pictures of me, but also of all the stuff that we saw, and she had a lot of good footage. And she also kept reminding me that I was supposed to be filming because we'd see something really sick and I'd go, oh my gosh, Summer, that's super sick. And she'd go, do you want to record it maybe? And I'll be like, oh, crud. And then I'd have to pull my phone out. Or if I couldn't get to it in time, she would film it for me. So that was super duper helpful. Another shout out goes to my roommate. She watched Himalaya the whole time. 10 out of 10. I always knew I could trust her. And then last but not least, we have my friend Des. I mentioned that we went to the restaurant, the Loft, that was recommended to us by our friend. Well, the other thing is he lived in Columbus and he was like, oh yeah, you should go to all of these places. We didn't get to go to all of them. One of them I think was a museum of weaponry or artillery or something, which did sound kind of sick. We did go on the Riverwalk and we did go to the Loft and we were able to show him some of the cool pictures that we brought back. So I will also be sending him this vlog so that he can know that we went to his town, we listened to his suggestions, and we were excited to see it. I would also like to thank all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to practice my editing software and I'll see you guys next time for my New York vlog. Bye!